It was a bright Saturday morning when something very unexpected happened to me. I woke up early, feeling excited because I planned to visit the city market with my friends. The weather was perfect: clear blue sky, soft sunlight, and a gentle breeze. After getting ready, I checked my bag to make sure I had everything: my wallet, earphones, and of course, my phone. My phone was very important to me. It had my photos, contacts, messages, and many useful apps. I used it every day to talk with friends and family. I also used it to take pictures and listen to music. I quickly put it in my pocket and left the house. When I reached the bus stop, my friends were already waiting for me. There were three of them: Rahim, Arif, and Tanya. Tanya was always cheerful and loved taking selfies. As soon as I arrived, she said, "Let's take a picture before the trip starts." I pulled out my phone and took a group selfie. We laughed and joked while waiting for the bus. A few minutes later, the bus arrived and we got on. The bus was crowded, but we managed to find a place to stand. During the ride, we talked about many things: school, movies, and our future dreams. The journey took about 40 minutes. When we finally reached the market, it was full of people. There were colorful shops everywhere, selling clothes, shoes, toys, and delicious street food. We walked through the market slowly, enjoying everything. Tanya stopped at almost every shop to look at dresses. Rahim wanted to buy a pair of headphones, and Arif was searching for a new backpack. After walking for about an hour, we decided to take a break and eat something. We sat at a small food stall and ordered burgers and cold drinks. The food was delicious, and we were all very happy. While eating, I suddenly wanted to check a message from my cousin. I reached into my pocket to take out my phone, but my phone was not there. At first, I thought maybe I had put it in my bag. I checked my bag carefully, but it was not there either. My heart started beating faster. "Guys," I said nervously, "I think I lost my phone." My friends immediately stopped eating. Rahim said, "Are you sure? Check again." I checked my pockets again and again, but the phone was gone. Tanya looked worried. Maybe it fell somewhere in the market. Arif suggested, "Let's go back and check the places we visited."
So we quickly walked back through the crowded market. We checked the clothing shop, the electronics store, and even the place where we bought snacks earlier. I asked many shopkeepers if they had seen a phone, but no one had. I started to feel very sad. That phone was a gift from my father on my last birthday. It meant a lot to me. Rahim then had an idea. "Give me your number. I will call it from my phone." He dialed my number, and we all listened carefully. For a moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly we heard a ringing sound. The sound was coming from a fruit stall nearby. We rushed toward the stall. A middle-aged man was standing there with my phone in his hand. He answered the call and looked around. "Is this someone's phone?" he asked. I stepped forward quickly. "Yes, that's my phone." The man smiled kindly. "I found it on the ground near my stall. I was waiting for someone to call." I felt a huge wave of relief. "Thank you so much, sir," I said gratefully. My friends also thanked him. The man simply said, "No problem. Always be careful with your belongings." I promised myself I would be more careful in the future. After that stressful moment, we continued our day in the market, but this time I kept my phone safely inside my bag. When the day ended and I returned home, I told my family the whole story. My mother smiled and said, "Sometimes losing something teaches us to value it more." She was right. That day I learned an important lesson: not only to take care of my things, but also to appreciate the honesty and kindness of strangers. And from that day on, whenever I go out, the first thing I check is whether my phone is safe and secure. After getting my phone back from the kind fruit seller, I felt much calmer. The fear and sadness I felt earlier slowly disappeared. My friends were also happy that the problem had been solved. Rahim jokingly said, "You almost gave us a heart attack today." We all laughed, but deep inside, I was still thinking about how close I had come to losing my phone forever. Before leaving the fruit stall, I thanked the man again. He smiled warmly and said, "Young people depend a lot on phones these days. Always keep it safe." His words stayed in my mind. After that, we continued walking through the market. But this time I kept my phone safely inside my bag and zipped it tightly. Tanya wanted to take more pictures, so she used her own phone instead. Soon we reached a large clothing store. Tanya spent almost 20 minutes looking at dresses. She finally chose a beautiful blue dress. Raheem bought the headphones he wanted, and Arif found a strong black backpack. While they were shopping, I carefully held my bag and kept checking my phone to make sure it was still there. My friends noticed and laughed again. "Don't worry," Arif said. "Your phone isn't going to run away again." After shopping, we decided to walk around the park near the market. The park was peaceful compared to the crowded streets. There were green trees, flowers, and a small pond where ducks were swimming. We sat on a bench to rest. The cool breeze felt wonderful after walking so much. Tanya said, "Now that everything is okay, we must take another selfie to remember this day." This time she used her phone and took several photos of us. In the pictures, we were all smiling and laughing. As we sat there, I looked at my phone again and thought about how much we depend on technology. Losing it for just a short time had made me feel nervous and helpless. Raheem noticed I was quiet and asked, "What are you thinking about?" I replied, "I was just thinking about how lucky I am. If that man hadn't found my phone, I might never have seen it again." Raheem nodded. Yes, honest people still exist. After resting in the park, we decided it was time to go home. The sun was beginning to set, and the sky was turning orange and pink. It was a beautiful evening. We walked back to the bus stop together. While waiting for the bus, we talked about the funniest moments of the day. Of course, the biggest story was about my lost phone. Tanya laughed and said, "Today's adventure should be called the Day of the Lost Phone." Finally, the bus arrived and we climbed in. This time the bus was less crowded, so we found seats easily. During the ride home, I kept my phone in my hand instead of my pocket. I even placed it inside my bag again, just to be extra safe. When we reached our stop, we said goodbye to each other and promised to meet again soon. As I walked home, I felt tired but happy. It had been a long day full of excitement, worry, and relief. When I reached home, my mother asked, "How was your day?" I smiled and said, "It was an adventure." I told her the whole story, from the moment I realized my phone was missing to the moment the fruit seller returned it. She listened carefully and then said, "You learned an important lesson today." I nodded. "Yes," I said. "Always be careful with important things and never lose hope." That night, before going to sleep, I placed my phone carefully on the table beside my bed. I looked at it and smiled. It had been a stressful day, but it ended with a happy lesson and a story I would never forget. The next morning, I woke up a little later than usual. The events of the previous day were still fresh in my mind. Losing my phone and then finding it again had been a stressful experience, but it also made the day unforgettable. After breakfast, I picked up my phone and looked at the photos we had taken at the market and in the park. The selfies with my friends made me smile. Even though we had a small problem during the trip, the memories were still beautiful. While scrolling through my phone, I suddenly noticed something strange. There was a missed call from an unknown number late at night. I wondered who it could be. Curious, I called the number back. After a few seconds, someone answered. It was the same fruit seller who had found my phone the day before. "Hello," he said. "Hello, sir. This is the boy whose phone you returned yesterday," I replied politely. "Oh, yes, I remember you," he said with a friendly voice. He then explained that he had called me because when he checked the ground where he found my phone, he had also discovered something else, a small card that had fallen from my phone case. My heart skipped a beat. "What card?" I asked. "It looks like an ID card," he said. "Maybe it belongs to you." I quickly checked my wallet. My student ID card was missing. "Yes, sir. That's mine," I said excitedly. He told me that I could come to the market any time to collect it. I thanked him again and promised that I would visit later that day. In the afternoon, I went back to the market alone. This time I was extra careful with everything I carried. When I reached the fruit stall, the man recognized me immediately. "You came quickly," he said with a smile. He handed me my student ID card. I felt very grateful. "Thank you again, sir," I said sincerely. "You helped me twice." The man laughed gently. "It's nothing. Just remember to be careful next time." I nodded and promised him that I would. Before leaving, I bought some fruits from his stall as a small way to show my appreciation. He seemed happy about it. As I walked back home, I thought about how lucky I had been. Not only had I found my lost phone, but I had also met a very kind and honest person. When I reached home, I told my parents everything that had happened. My father smiled proudly and said, "Honest people make the world a better place." My mother added, "And careful people avoid trouble." We all laughed. That day taught me many lessons. I learned to be more responsible with my belongings. I also learned that even in a busy and crowded world, there are still good people who are willing to help others. Now, every time I hold my phone, I remember that strange and exciting day at the market. It started with panic and fear, but it ended with gratitude, friendship, and an unforgettable story.